nerderotic.com.
Through denial, sometimes we get confirmation, and Disney Star Wars, thou doth protest too much. In this culture and information war we're in with the access media, I think Disney is starting to come to the realization that the crowd that they have been playing to, which is very vocal and also very small, and I'm not talking about the fandom menace, they're not the ones who are going to subscribe to your streaming services. They're not the ones who are going to go to your films multiple times. They are not the ones who are going to buy your action figures. And this brings us to Where is Rose Tico? We just had a Force Friday and it was underwhelming and the spin is already on. But before I get started, if you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel. YouTube has made a change to the algorithm, which greatly benefits companies like Disney and doesn't benefit independent channels like yours truly. So if you can like and share the videos as much as possible, I would appreciate it, and your favorite YouTuber would appreciate it. Now, unfortunately, we have to go to the Mary Sue, and we will be covering multiple denials within this video. Denials from J.J. Abrams that The Rise of Skywalker is going to retcon The Last Jedi, and denials from Disney and the Access Media over the missing Rose Tico and the lackluster Triple Force Friday we just had. Why exactly is Rose Tico being removed from Star Wars merchandise? Where's Rose? Well, we do have to consider that Ethan Van Sciver purchased all of the Rose action figures and they just don't have anymore. Disney is at it again with the merchandising shenanigans, and Star Wars fans are calling them out. Last Friday was a special day for fans of that galaxy far, far away. Force Friday, it's when new Star Wars merchandise is revealed, and this time it was a Triple Force Friday as Disney Star Wars unveiled products to promote the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, and the conclusion of the new trilogy, The Rise of Skywalker. Disney Star Wars, I understand the pickle you're in, but it's a pickle jar of your own making, and the double-edged sword of trying to please the Mary Sue crowd, because they can't be pleased. And I think you're starting to come to that realization, and it's not in any of your statements, it's in your actions, not through their words. You're going to see a lot of lip service. You're going to see maybe some people changing their mind with some art, but you're not going to see a lot of Rose Tico action figures in the future. But that excitement was dampened when fans noticed that the new Rise of Skywalker merchandise was not only sorely lacking in Rose Tico, Kelly Marie Tran, who I personally have nothing against. She seems like a perfectly lovely person, but it looks like her image was actually removed from various designs. I'm guessing the character of Rose Tico will not be in The Rise of Skywalker very much, and I'm guessing there will be a large retcon of The Last Jedi. They just won't vocally confirm it, but all you have to do, again, is look at their actions. And the failure of The Last Jedi is proven time and time again through merchandising. From a blue checkmark on Twitter, I remember Where's Rey around the first Force Friday, but what makes Where's Rose more insidious is all the evidence of where she was designed into merch and then willfully removed. The fan conduct towards Rose/KMT was shameful, and catering to those fans sends the worst kind of message. Disney Star Wars, there's no fixing this. There is a large portion of the blue checkmarks on Twitter that you listen to quite a bit who think putting the hashtag Where's Rose is enough support for you to keep producing Rose Tico merchandise. The problem is, it's only the blue check marks on Twitter, and it's not the rest of the fandom. The Fandom Menace numbers grow every day because of the Mary Sue. Don't believe me? I'll read on. This isn't the first time that fans have noticed a conspicuous lack of a character in merchandise. There was a serious controversy over the lack of Rey in the original Force Awakens merchandise, and that turns out to have been wise. Though some claim she was left off so as not to spoil that she was a new Jedi hero. Well, it wasn't spoiling anything, and she wasn't a hero, she was a hero. However, the exclusion of Rose Tico is extra insidious, given the racist and misogynist response to her character in the past and the horrible treatment of Kelly Marie Tran by the so-called Star Wars fans. This is why the Fandom Menace's numbers grow every day, because you, Disney Star Wars, sign off on this. You support this with the access media by continuing to give sites like this access. And again, I will ask you, you don't have to listen to us, But if you just ignore them as much as you ignore us, we might get something in the middle, possibly. But these folks aren't in the middle, but they think they are. And this is where your marketing data and research prior to The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi has failed you. Even though Rose is a great character, Tran has been a consistent target of trolls, so much so that she was driven off social media, again spreading a lie. We have never gotten confirmation of that, and now she's being pushed off merchandise. Why? Do I really have to say this out loud? Okay, forgive me, members of the Fandom Menace, if any of the 2 or 3 people from the Mary Sue are listening or watching this video. I will speak slowly. Even though there was an anti-capitalist message within The Last Jedi, it doesn't mean Disney actually believes that. Star Wars wouldn't exist without capitalism. Star Wars exists because of merchandising. It's the most expensive thing produced by Hollywood today, this side of the MCU, and it needs its merchandising to survive. When you make an action figure, when you make merchandise, it costs money. And when you start losing money on the merchandise you're making, you stop making that merchandise. Do you understand? Now, I don't know if Disney Star Wars did this on purpose, but if they did, they actually have all my respect. Some of the Rose Tico images were removed and replaced by the penis monster. The version of the movie poster featuring Rose from leaked merch designs versus the version of the poster ultimately going on shirts, trading cards, and tote bags. This last example, where Rose has been erased from a poster and replaced by some slug alien we've never seen, super duper bad and insulting. Yeah, well, that one, I hope you're insulted, and that makes me happy. Not only is this erasing a woman, but a barrier-breaking woman of color who's been publicly attacked just for daring to be female and not white in Star Wars. It's a bad look. She wasn't daring. She was offered a job. She took it. She didn't sell well, and they replaced her with a penis monster on a poster. I love it. Mary Sue, I need you to be better. Shame on you for not considering the penis monster representation in this film. They have rights too, So why is Rose not in these posters and merch? Is Disney daving to the trolls? Are they hiding a spoiler? My first terrified thought was that she's not in the film very much and might be killed off early on. Well, we can only hope, and I'm talking about the character. My guess is they're going to do their version of shadow banning Rose Tico, putting her on some mission, fighting some capitalist somewhere, and we just don't get to follow her this time, and we'll see her at the end of the film singing Yum Nub with a Porg and an Ewok that looks suspiciously 25% different. She did end The Last Jedi in distress, and Rose is nowhere to be found in the 2 trailers we've seen for The Rise of Skywalker. We only have seen her in one still from Rise of Skywalker so far. However, so there is some hope. Let this be more proof that the dinosaur that is the Access Media has outlived their usefulness, and they are starting to recognize this. This whole article is about the Fandom Menace winning a battle. You know who the Fandom Menace is? The general audience. Is the erasure of Rose the work of a stupid executive somewhere, or does it hint at something even worse? The erasure of Rose Tico from the next film altogether. We hope it's just bad marketing decisions, which we can agree Disney has made many, and we'll learn where's Rose sooner rather than later. We'll also have to see how they handle the merchandising for Johanna, played by Naomi Ackie. As a black woman, she's also breaking barriers in Star Wars, so let's hope that the executives and the fans learn something and don't screw up there too. In the interest of fairness, which the Mary Sue says they are all about, how would they feel about Amy Akkie's Johanna replacing Rose Tico? But don't worry, there is more Access Media out there to help Disney Star Wars with their spin. Star Wars Artist explains Rose's Rise of Skywalker marketing absence from Screen Rant. Now, I'm not going to go over this whole article because it's just a bunch of fluff wrapped around the artist's tweet. The artist behind the recent The Rise of Skywalker one-sheet, Brian Hood, has now explained why Rose isn't on the poster, acknowledging the social media campaign asking where the character is. 12 or 13 people on Twitter with blue check marks. He revealed that his creation is a very early version of the artwork and not yet fully finished, so why would you release it? He adds that he's still waiting for the character references so he can add Rose to the one sheet. Oh, okay, sure. Ensuring her look in the new film is accurately produced. Check out his statement below, which seems to contradict his follow-up tweet. Brian Hood. Well, it's finally out there, and here it officially is. Leading into designing this piece, we came up with the idea of having two unique posters that would mirror each other almost identically. Both images needed to work alone. Here's his follow-up tweet. Brian Hood, obviously in distress. Don't worry, where's Rose? This is a very early version of the artwork where I was waiting on a reference for Rose and others at an amusement park today with my family, but will update image tomorrow. Thumbs up, please don't hurt me. And oh, I also want to put in there that I'm with my family, so please don't destroy my life because I didn't put a character in a poster that isn't selling very well for Disney on their instructions. And here we get more spin from J.J. Abrams, the Access Media, and Disney themselves. Cantina Talk, The Rise of Skywalker won't retcon The Last Jedi still. J.J. Abrams says he never found himself trying to repair anything while working on the forthcoming movie. Do you think he would actually say this out loud? But everything we've seen so far looks like an obvious course correction for Star Wars. Way too late in the game. But back to the merchandising, we have more spin from Disney. Don't expect too many spoilers from the merch. The source, executives from Hasbro and Lucasfilm. Probability of accuracy. For good reasons, this one is on target, and for once, I will agree with Wired. The real deal. Triple Force Friday happened just last week with merchandise for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order hitting shelves in one massive expensive drop. But if the live streamed product reveal and amount of merch in stores seems somewhat underwhelming, there's a reason for that. Mike Balog, head of global marketing at Hasbro, told Cinema Blend, and here it comes, we have clear conversations about what we can come out with and what needs to stay under wraps. We work around things with that in mind, at least from a Hasbro standpoint. The product on display is maybe 30 to 35% of our full line. And maybe this is where Disney Star Wars is starting to figure out the blue checkmark crowd. They will be on to the next 5 or 6 things, so if they buy themselves some time, they can probably save themselves a lot of money by not producing Rose Tico action figures. Unfortunately, it is far too late for Disney Star Wars, and we all know that. As I've said before multiple times, you cannot put the milk back in the booby unless you remake the entire new trilogy. You have permanently alienated a lot of fans that really still want to love your product. But the problem is, you treat it like a product. Star Wars in the hands of Disney has been a horrible mess and a failed experiment. And the failure is now complete because we see it in the merchandising, the most important part. Jar Jar Abrams is not a very good artist, but he is one of the best BS artists in the history of Hollywood. He's a fast talker and he talks a lot. And within his Hollywood speak, sometimes we get the truth. If I had done episode 8, I would have done things differently, just as Ryan would have done things differently. That is as close as we'll ever get to an admission of anything in Hollywood, and that is Jar Jar Abrams admitting that Rian Johnson did derail the new Star Wars trilogy. I can accept the argument that The Force Awakens did lay some groundwork that could have led to some interesting things, but we'll never know. So that is just Jar Jar Abrams accepting you can't change the past, and unfortunately, to Disney's horror, Rian Johnson did kill the past. And I want this to be a lesson to all of Hollywood. When you push a political agenda that has nothing to do with inclusivity or diversity, it's about politics, you alienate half of your fan base right off the bat. Star Wars is the first domino to start falling, and we're going to see Star Trek and Doctor Who follow. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe. If you didn't like what you heard, hey, thanks for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.